I'm not gonna give up. I simply can't. The pain is unbearable, but I have to stay. I have no choice. I came to Australia about 1.5 years ago to study, and like many others, I fell in love with the country, and I wanted to stay. So I was talking to a lot of people about how it's possible to stay in this amazing country, and they said you get a sponsorship, you get married, you work on a farm. Nobody has proposed to me yet, so I'm on the farm.
The reason why we've obviously come here is to get a second year visa. When we ring the harvest line, this is a job that they give us, so we have to take it because there was nothing else happening at that time, and we're kind of under time strains as well. So
because everyone's going north, all the backpackers have taken all the jobs in the northern area, especially regional work. We just couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So we've been searching for about 2 weeks, I'd say, properly searching for work.
I got the job over a phone call, and I met this guy named Paul, and he told me it's gonna be really cold, it's gonna be maybe the hardest thing I've done in my life, and we have to work in the rain, I have to bring a lot of socks, a lot of clothes.
We employ anything between 25 to 30 people every picking time. We use local people and backpackers to do our work. Someone has to do it, I suppose.
Obviously the jobs that are paid per hour are the better jobs, because you know you're going to get a certain amount of money whether you work your arse off or you don't work your arse off. But it's just finding them jobs. You've also got to be here in the right time of year.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Because when we arrived, there wasn't much work available because it was winter.
They'd had a bad weather, so it wiped a lot of jobs out. So.
In Victoria, they had floods, so there wasn't many jobs around the area we were looking for.
We didn't get a lot of information. He just told us that it was rain or shine, 6 days a week, and vine pruning. And we just told him that we would take it because it seemed like those were the last 2 jobs in the whole country of Australia.
So we were pretty excited because we were like, woo! Job, and arrived at this lovely campsite yesterday. We had no clue what to expect, so we didn't know if we were going to be staying in a farmhouse, in a hostel.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea we'd be staying in a caravan park.
Yeah.
This is the laundry, apparently.
Luckily there are washers and dryers, because where we've stayed before, it's just been a washer, so it takes it a while to dry.
It's just a dog.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. And there's books. Plenty of reading material.
Luckily, I've been in the bathrooms. They're very clean.
They're really
so
clean,
I'm happy about that. Yeah. It'll be fun to live in a caravan park for 6 weeks.
But when we put the advertisements in, we usually get about anything up to 200 calls, for people wanting to do their farm work, so they can do their 88 days for their visa.
I'm expecting, I know it's going to be hard because I've talked to one of my friends that we worked with. He did some pruning somewhere up north, I'm not sure, and he said that it was terrible not to do it when I made it my Facebook status the other day when we found out we got the job.
Everyone has told us not to do this work.
Yeah.
And we arrived yesterday and everyone's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I've been travelling around. I was in Mildura, Sydney, Cairns, Inishvale, and now Haywood. And Haywood is shit. It rains all day, every day. The other day it was raining ice. It's not what I think of when I think of Australia, but I need it for the visa. But all my other farm work is gone horrible, so as bad as it is, it's not that bad. It could be a lot worse.
And I'm really glad we came into this experience with no expectations. So, with
Because of the
saying
room.
that, we'll just show you our room. It's kind of messy right now. We're still moving in.
It's a box.
Basically, it's just enough room to sleep, and then somehow we're gonna have to put all of our stuff just on the sides. So we haven't quite figured out how to do that yet.
It'll be good. It's gonna be a good experience.
Yeah, it'll be a story.
It will be a story.
Jeez, I feel so lost. Just looking around, all you can see is cows.
So we're both from England, and as we're both British, we have to get the second-year visa.
Yeah, we only get 1 year. Apparently Australians can go to England and get 2 years straight off, and we have to come here and work our arses off to get another year.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to be part of the Commonwealth, so it should all be the same, yeah.
Yes.
And we found out that they get an extra day off for the Queen's birthday, which we don't get back in England.
We're just about to go get our outfits for the next 6 weeks. So like rain jackets and boots is what we're expecting. Nicholas!
Safety glasses. When we got off of the bus stop, we waited around at the bus stop for about 10 minutes for Nicholas to show up. I guess he was running late or something, and so we're just standing around, and cars would drive by like, oh, is this him? Is this it? And we were a little sketched out, but the fact that we got Nicholas's name and number through a national hotline, that kind of made me feel a little better about that. But I joked to Liz, I was like, there's a 2% chance we are gonna be in the sex trade industry. So, because we didn't have any information. We didn't have the name of the farm. We didn't know where we were going. And, some of our friends would ask about it, and we'd be like, oh yeah, we know what's going on, just so they wouldn't worry. But then one good friends, we told her, and she was like, well, just make sure you have an exit plan. Make sure you carry some cash, just in case. But call me when you get, but I haven't called her yet, so I need to call her.
Yeah, we should call her.
Yeah.
It's really orange.
Well, not your colour. Well, it will help. Now,
Yeah.
does that give you enough?
I'm gonna lunge.
Yeah. Well,
You never know.
So,
Do you like some knee bends?
yeah. You don't.
Oh my god!
You don't split it. Well,
I didn't do that.
well, we don't want the lunchbox to start breathing. It's all right. So, have a look at this one. So,
This fits.
well, we're gonna worry about the puppies down there. Make sure that they're also protected, right?
Do you want me to do it? I'll do it.
Well, only for
Yeah,
your
do
benefit,
that,
to
yeah.
protect them. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of room.
We don't want this. Well, you reckon there's enough for Peter there? Or
Oh dear.
oh dear, poor Peter. All right.
I got it.
Okay. Make sure you've got plenty of movement. All right.
Sorry, yeah, I got lots of room.
Yeah, because you'll be having there with a pair of clippers and that, and you need to be able. Remember, you're going to be wearing.
You
more
look like a big
clothes.
street cone. It's gonna be hard, but sometimes you need to go through really hard things to appreciate the good things that you
Pretty
have.
excited.
And I feel like we're getting ready to enter that time,
Pretty excited to be outside again. And
Yeah.
Let's go over to the executive room.
Liz, where'd we go? Oh, there you are. I see.
Okay, get out any animals.
Yeah. Is that pants going to be big enough, or are you going to?
My pants?
Yeah.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Well, these are a little big, but they'll be fine. With 2 pairs of socks on.
2 pairs of socks. Okay. Great.
I feel like I need one more color to really make this work.
What's this?
You'll see it tomorrow. All right. I think.
Do I need one?
No.
Okay.
There's one there. Right, beautiful, right? Okay, we'll give you gloves tomorrow. We'll give you your snips tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, you need to bring your shoes with you. No microwave, none of that sort of stuff. And a water bottle.
safety glasses?
All that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll tell you what time we need to be out there. I think it's 6:50. 10 to 7.
We'll see you in the morning.
All right.
Bright and
Lovely.
early. Plunging.
And are we ready for tomorrow?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
We're ready.
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Mentally,
Maybe.
physically prepared. All we have to do is some more stretches in the morning.
Yeah.
Apparently our hands. We'll stretch our hands.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yep.
Morning.
Morning.
Top of the morning.
Stretching out.
Stretch out.
It's your
Before-
tendons.
Yeah,
right?
in your tendons there, that's right. And it's a good idea not to keep it the one task all the time. Rotate your tasks. So once you've cut the length, once the wheels have cleaned, you can clean out and then do some hooping.
Oh, it gives your hands a bit of a change.
Yeah.
So it's just started raining.
Yep.
What happens if there's maybe a thunderstorm?
Well, if there's a thunderstorm, we head straight to our evacuation marshalling area where we get out of the storm. We get out of the weather, we get out of the electrical storm. Some years ago, not very far from this spot, a girl actually got hit with lightning.
Oh gosh.
Now, it wasn't fatal, but she went into shock, and from that day on, anytime there's a look of electrical storms, we get all our people out of the vineyard because lightning is prone to follow where there's a lot of wires.
Yeah.
So if you ever hear lightning, head to that main shed and I or someone will come around and we'll get all people into safety. We'll look up on our radar and once the lightning's passed, we'll go back to work. If it's going to lightning all day, we'll call it a day and go home, Liz.
Safety first, eh?
Safety first, yep. We bring it this side of the wire
In front of that middle
and we
wire.
go over in front and down to that bottom one.
Okay.
All
You
right?
got a rope? Can I try on the other side?
You certainly can, you try it. And you only go halfway along the wire to the other vine.
Right, okay, so through. Like that?
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye, boss.
Day one.
A range of emotions.
The roller coaster, if you will.
We were inducted, so we got up and we got to the farm around 7:20-ish, and then we went and were shown how to prune the vines.
We put our iPods in, and we sang and we danced our way through till lunch.
And lunch was around 1:30, 1:45, and during that time, I was happy, like just speaking for me. I was listening to the music and singing with that, and then I was really appreciative about just where I am in life and that I'm just doing this for a temporary time. This isn't my full-time job. I have a healthy body that I'm able to like work with.
Well, I felt good at lunch because thus far my hands didn't hurt too much, and I heard that your hands really hurt. But after after lunch, that's when my hand started to really hurt, and I could no longer cut the shears with just my left hand. I'm left-handed. We had to use both hands to cut these twig things off. It's a pretty painful job. Pretty painful. We didn't really earn too much money today.
No,
probably didn't.
$45.
We're not even sure if we broke even today.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do some math. When
Yeah, we have to do some calculations.
Then for me after lunch, I don't quite know what happened. I basically just ate quickly and then got back out there because I wanted to try to do as much as I could. But my attitude, my mood, I guess I got tired and my back started hurting, and I would like see, oh well, I need to like clip this and clip that and clip this, but I'm so pissed off right now. Clip it right there and like find the next one. And so then, I struggled. I had an inner struggle because like, no, Lisa, you need to do this right, do it right. You need to do a good job. And so I inner struggled for a little bit. And then my iPod died. And that may have been like rock bottom for me. And I didn't have a watch, so I didn't know what time it was. And so basically just like, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And basically all of the morning's appreciation about everything was just gone.
After the first day, I realized how hard it was. I got tired after just a few hours. And as well, since we get paid by what we do and not by the hour, you want to work hard. Since you're here, you came all this way. So hopefully to earn some money. So what I did was to work really hard, and I worked so hard I started to get pain everywhere. My body was aching. Even my hand was swollen twice the size after just 3 hours.
And maybe it would be cool for the harvest hotline to say, oh, this is, if they would just tell you from what farm, so you could, get some information and feel a little safer about it when you arrive.
Today was just frustrating because every time I looked over, because I wanted to finish 2 rows today, but I only did one. Every time I looked, it didn't look like it was getting any closer towards me, which was frustrating. But we'll see. Today's day one. It can only get better, right?
Hopefully.
We live in a tiny cabin / caravan. I'm sharing kitchen with 7 others, including a mouse. So 8.
We're pretty cramped, but it's cozy, and we're like one big happy family.
I live in the cabin. The cabin's cold as fuck. We all have to share a kitchen. There's a lot of people cook in the kitchen. It's nice and warm in here compared to the cabin. This is the room. It is cold. There's no heater. I have that bed, and nobody sleeps in this bed. Get my food under there. The other morning I was very, very cold, so I lit a candle to warm my hands up, and I forgot about the candle and I ended up fucking burning this, and all this shit could have potentially caught on fire, caught the curtains, and the whole place could have been burnt to the fucking ground. But luckily it didn't, because that would have been shit. But it's a cold room, so I just spend most of my time in the caravan with all the people. And since there's nobody in this room as well, I've no one to talk to in here, so yeah. There's a fan, I don't know why, because it's not fucking hot. I don't even know if it gets hot down here. Went to the shop the other day, or today, and seen skis for sale. It's fucked. It's not what I imagine Australia to be. But once the visa's sorted, I get to get the fuck out of here and go anywhere, do anything. It's a good country in general, but doing the regional work is like slave labor, except no whips. Going to
So what are we waiting for now?
Here, I love the train.
Nothing.
Putting off having to work. Suicide!
Today was day 2, and I went into it, tried to go into it with a positive attitude, and the weather, it held out, so that was nice. I didn't concentrate so much on the pain as I did yesterday. I mean, everything hurt, and I still had to, I was pruning pretty much with both hands, so I didn't have, my hands just weren't strong enough to do it with just one. And yesterday I had induction, so I ended up starting work at 10. Well, today I cleared pretty much the same amount that I did yesterday in an 8-hour day. So I'm actually working slower than I did yesterday, and I guess it's just because I'm sore and tired. And I don't really see myself getting a lot better, you know. And, you know, I guess it was okay, but my friend Liz that I came here with, she was doing so much better than me. I think I saw her go down one row and then back up another one while I was still on one. And so that was just super frustrating. And I had an epiphany, and my epiphany, I was listening to my iPod, and then Kenny Rogers was singing The Gambler, and it's, you gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. And at that moment I was like, I need to run away from this. I'm not making any money. And so in my head I started doing some math, and then when I got home I calculated this. So basically, this shows that I've pruned 3 rows in 2 days, and I make $32 a row. So I've made $96 so far. And then with taxes taken out, and then my super taken out, and then the housing that I've stayed here 4 days now, with that taken out, I actually owe $1.33. So I took this to Nicholas, and I told him that this isn't for me, and that this is probably gonna be my last day. And so I'm gonna be at the bus stop at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna find something else to do. I can't live paying $1.33 at the end of every day or so. So that's it.
This is the job and it's shit. Procrastination. Keep putting it off. It's only for the days anyway. Fuck the money. The money's shit. Once you get that, get the fuck out of here. The job is we just go around with the snips and cut shit. Oh, I have a wrong fucking box. I need to get my right box.
After just a few days, I just stopped. I was standing there in the middle of all those trees, and I just stopped. And I was looking up in the sky and just thinking, why am I doing this? This is torture. I have pain everywhere. I can't barely move my fingers. By then I didn't know about the pay, so hopefully I thought, yes, I've been working my ass off today. Probably gonna have a big fat paycheck at the end of the week.
So what are you doing here now?
I'm hooping.
You're hooping?
Yep. So I'm tying down the vines with a rubber band like this.
Oh, yeah.
So now I get my fingers tied up, or taped up.
Yeah, not tied up, it's just taped up.
Taped up, because now I'm going to do hooping, which is putting rubber bands around the branches, and the fingers get really sore from it, so the tape will help us to prevent the pain, as well as the rubber bands dries up our skin. A shorter row gives us $33, and I took the time to see how fast I was working. probably, I don't know if you can see it, there's 2 hours and 22 minutes to cut one row, which then leaves me to approximately $15 an hour, which is not that bad. But then we got tax and we got all those other things to pay for.
It's going okay actually. It hasn't rained on us yet, so that's my worst fear really. When it rains, it's miserable working here. But other than that, I have a small blister on my finger from cutting all morning.
When we come home from work every day, 5 o'clock, everyone is exhausted, and then we have to prepare the meal for the next day. Lunch, breakfast, and dinner. So 7 people, 1 tiny kitchen. It is a bit tough.
We've just pulled back the blanket and discovered there is ants crawling up our wall. How nice! Just when we're starting to have our dinner.
And there's
Turn me
also
right off.
mice. What to do? This is the mouse trap.
Homemade mouse trap.
So it doesn't die.
I'm going to set the trap for the mouse tonight. The trap is just over here. Come over with me. So, going to use this trap with a bit of cheese.
Cheese is only in cartoons.
Yeah, well, not even a warm piece of bacon, maybe.
They don't like that.
Was there any ant spray or something I wonder we could just spray?
Deodorant even. Something to fucking intoxicate them. Yeah, right. We have a little bit of an ant problem, so now we're going to kill the motherfuckers. There was a lot more here earlier on, but we couldn't spray because people were waiting. But now we can. We're in a little shitty village. We do shit work for shit money.
Are you the ant killer?
I'm the ant killer.
Nice to meet you. Can you do something about our ant problem?
Taken care of.
Oh, nice.
We also have a mouse problem.
You have mouse killer as well.
No,
Mouse killer.
I'm the mouse protector. Welcome to hell. It's fuck knows what time, but it's only bright about 5 minutes. And we have to go to work now till it pretty much gets fucking dark. Doing grapevines. It's a shit job, it's shit money. But every day it just seems to get worse and worse. It does be so fucking cold, but the weather is a big improvement compared to what it was last week. So that's a positive. And where I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, but at least it's not fucking Monday.
After I cut everything, I have to do the cleanup, which removes all the remaining branches that the machine didn't pull out. And mostly we get slapped in the face. It's like a fight between us and the trees. So it's really tough, but you get all the aggression out if you're like angry or annoyed with something. You're tired, you can just get everything out by pulling and pulling.
I hate this part.
Did they ever hit you?
Yeah, I hit you in the face. That's what it's actually, when they first gave us the glasses, I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. But I've been hit in the eyes so many times and whipped in the face. And it's really wet. It's like, it was real misty this morning, so all the vines are really wet.
I got slapped in the face, like really bad the other day. Got a red mark on my nose, so it's a good thing, at least. I heard, especially from my mom, that I'm really stubborn. The branches are stuck to the fence, So I feel like they're stubborn, and I'm pushing and I'm pushing them, and that's so annoying. So I realized, oh my god, when I'm stubborn and people are pushing me and pushing me to change my mind, I know how annoying it is now. So it's like weird things like that you think of, and you stand there reflecting. Might be not as stubborn anymore. Then I got the entire row, then the next row, then the next one. Woo! Motivation, please, bring it to me. So how can I get motivation from this? From what is keeping me going? So I made up this system. After every row, I give myself a treat. I tell myself, oh, I can have a sip of water, or I can have a candy bar in my pocket, a food bar, chocolate. So it's like trying to let that just push me forward. But when I came to the end of the row, I wasn't thirsty, I wasn't hungry. So that didn't work. Because you stand there all by yourself for 9 hours and you have to focus on what you're doing. And then your thoughts are like traveling around the world. So I started thinking about, oh my god, how lucky I am to have this job. I can imagine all those people who want this job so badly, the people in wheelchairs that wishes they could just stand up and do this job. And that made me going. And also thinking about all those countries in the world, farmers that work probably 24 hours a day at the most, if it's possible, standing outside in every kind of weather, doing this.
Damn!
Beautiful day, absolutely crack of a day.
Probably the best fucking day we've had.
Yeah, so it'd be great if every day was like this. Don't mind being out in the sunshine. Nice to, well, you're in a better mood. You're in a good mood when the sun days. And you can just work away.
I now hate wine and everything that sucked my soul out of me. I got so angry today at the vines. I don't think I've ever cursed so much at one thing in my entire life as I cursed at the vines today. But gonna earn some dollar. Nothing much you can do, so I'm gonna go back and drink wine now. Even though I just said I hate it because I desperately need a glass of wine right now. I have a love-hate relationship with the vines, I think. Yeah, that's it. I have no more words. Oh, and I miss Lisa, but that's all.
Yeah, today's fucking over. But it wasn't that bad of a day. It didn't rain. But it's good to get the fuck out of here.
How's it going?
Good.
Really good. I'm tired, obviously.
Our fingers.
Worker's hands. And my thumb feels like it's dislocated.
Oh wow.
Very tired. Need to go home and have a glass of wine.
This is the best part of the day. The best part of the day. 4:30 is the best part of the day.
Why are you bringing the work home?
Burn the motherfucker.
It's a symbol.
For our weekly bonfire.
We hate vines, so we're gonna burn them all.
Right, we're all in?
Yeah.
Done.
During the week we sit around having a few drinks, watch TV, have chats, get to know each other. We've met
some really cool people, yeah.
And it's been really good. We've had lots of good nights on our Saturday night, because on Sunday's our only day off, so we have
Often
a few
still
drinks.
get hungover.
We have a few drinks Saturday night, and no, it's been really good. It's been a good crack.
It is enjoyable. It's the Olympic opening ceremony with Liz and Connor. That's silly.
Mother, there is a rumour going around the kingdom that you and my uncle, your twin brother, I am the offspring of you fuckers. Fuck, oh my god. That is fucking classic.
So today we have our day off. It's Sunday and then we went on sightseeing by the dock, saw some fishing boats, and now we're shopping some groceries.
Here we are at Aldi in Portland, about to do our weekly shopping. It's actually our highlight of the week, doing our food shop, so off we go.
The problem is healthy food is expensive. Junk food, McDonald's, that's the cheap food. So I spend a lot of money on proper food as well. So by now I haven't made anything.
But basically we have to buy food that's like easy to cook in the evening because like we're coming home starving and we want like quick food, so and plus we're not earning a lot of money, so it's kind of budget.
How do you feel today? Are you tired?
Exhausted. My hands hurt. Still can't feel my middle finger. Still numb. Other than that, it's great. It's been a hard week.
My body is numb, so Monday tomorrow, new week. I'm not really excited. And I heard it's gonna rain as well, so we'll see. You alright? Just feeling the mess.
The mess.
Oh yeah.
Is there any people you prefer, like girls, boys, couples?
Couples we find are good, and girls are really good for hooping, for tying down, because with the rubbers and that. And yeah, we don't discriminate. We get all sorts, have you interviewed Conor?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we get people like Conor, and yeah, we get them from all sorts of life,
Right, as you can see over there behind me, Liz is working away with her earphones in, so I'm gonna go up and frighten the shit out of her.
Oh my god. I scared the crap out of me.
Team, so we're not doing single work, we're together on this patch, our patches that we set as two of us, so it does get quite competitive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We sort of try and beat each other to certain things, try and complete lines before each other. So
David started off quicker, and now I'm catching up with
and
him.
I'm slowing down, I think. I don't know why, but I'm getting injured.
I never want to see another Vine again.
It's boring, dull, tedious, painful at times.
Tedious is another word for boring, David. You just said that.
Yeah, well, it's double boring. Double boring, double tedious.
This road that we're on now takes about 2 hours. There's 168 vines.
Hard job?
Shitty job, yeah.
Shit job, very shit job.
I've done two rows today. I'm doing real slow, but I don't care anymore.
So I got my first paycheck, and this was a paycheck for 14 days, and the amount I got in my wallet was $460.65. So I did some calculations for 14 days, so I was dividing it by 14, which is the amount of days, which means I was earning $32.90. And to figure out what I was earning in an hour, which is we're out on the field approximately 8 hours a day, so I was dividing it by 8. So the amount I'm earning every hour that goes into my wallet is $4.11. For accommodation for those 2 weeks, I paid $295, which means I have to work really hard just to get some money in my wallet.
Did you get paid today?
No, we actually didn't get paid. I'm still waiting to get paid. I finished a field last week and actually nearly finished a field this week. So I'll have to go and chase them for that.
You chipped me out of my money this week. I got a lot less than I thought I was going to get.
Yeah, but like that just goes to show you actually have to keep track of everything you're doing, because he's obviously not keeping.
Yeah.
He's done this to somebody else as well. He's sure paid them, and they've actually worked. They've done more work, so he's obviously purposely doing it. Like,
Did you get paid today, Conor?
No. $11. When you're on a shitty wage, this is what you need to drink. 4 litres of motherfucker. Went down to the shop, went to buy some shit, as you do. Came to $70, my card wouldn't work because that's the advance money I got, $330. And then when you add up all the work I done for the past 2 weeks, when you take 30% tax away, and then accommodation, and then the money I needed, it comes to minus $181 fucking dollars. So I'm now in debt to the boss.
at the moment we're at the mercy of these contractors who basically can give us a price for what we're working on off the top of their heads. It's below the minimum wage, but none of us can really say anything because, as I said, we're at their mercy and we need the second year visa, so we have to work. You know, he argues with us that basically, and we argue with ourselves, like we're trying to prove to ourselves that it's not such a raw deal, even though we're all cramped in a caravan.
So I'm in the shed by myself today because I woke up and had massive pain in my fingers. Then I realized I have to work because I can't afford not working. So if I get sick or if I have pain, I have to just work because the accommodation is $130 a week. That means I have to earn that much to actually pay for the accommodation and then tax as well. And I'm just waiting in the shed for Nick to figure out what I can do because my hands are so swollen, I can't even bend them properly. We have to work to afford to stay, so it's really sucks. And as well, it's gonna rain today, which doesn't make the situation better.
Has anyone heard from Olivia yet?
This is quite rushed. No, actually. Olivia actually was told to leave because she was sick one day and Nick basically said he'd come up and pick her up and bring her back here. And she waited for an hour and then called him and says, "Where are you?" And he says, "Oh no, I'm coming. Don't worry, I'm coming to pick you up." And she was like, "Okay, because I can go back to work, you know, if you're not going to come." So poor girl ended up waiting about 4 hours for him, and to the end of the day when we all got on the bus to go home, and obviously she was really annoyed, but all she said was that, like, why didn't you just tell me that you weren't going to pick me up? I could have just continued on working, so I'm down some money now. And then they had a big blow up bus stop. I wasn't actually there, but what happened was he basically told her to go, and she's gone. She had to pack her bags and leave. Basically they don't really care too much about you, they just want you here to work.
Not everyone stays, you know. Some people don't like the job. This year's about the most that we've had drop off, which is 4. Other years we have 1 or 2 that go. I think the reason is that they're not used to the weather. They're not used to the style of work that they have to do, and sometimes we can see that they're not making enough money, and we have to let them go. We explain to them that, you know, they shouldn't be here because number one, the work's not suited for them, and number they're not going to make enough money.
I don't really see a big support back towards backpackers. Basically what I'm trying to say is that there's no regulation in backpacking, doing regional work, backpackers doing regional work. So there's kind of like it's a little bit of a miss there, like they're telling you we need all this, and we're kind of vulnerable because we need the work, we need the money. We are meeting, for example, contractors. They're not regulated, for example, they could be not nice people, which we have experienced before. They could be really nice, but there's also the unfair ones that will treat you badly. If you actually worked in a proper work environment, that they could be pulled up on sexual harassment, being paid under wage, working long hours. We only get 20-minute break for the whole day, and we're working 9 hours, things like that. Anyway, I'm just making a point. And then it's we can brush it off as it's regional work, but there's fair pay, fair working conditions, and it's not when you're going regional work. Everything's just no, you're cramped, living in cramped conditions. We live with mice, so there's it should be more regulated. I know that's what the Harvest Hotline's for, but still there's not enough involvement with the government, since it's they're there to protect us as well.
Today I took the day off because I just had so much pain, and I knew that I couldn't work fast enough, so I'd probably make $10.
Last night, one of the girls was in so much pain she wanted to leave, but she needed her day signed off. So one of the contractors sent her a text message to come over to his caravan. He could sign her papers for pleasure in return. She obviously declined the offer and tried to stay for another week. Then she left without having enough days signed. She simply couldn't take it anymore.
Fingers are sore, my feet are cold. The ground frosted last night, which means that it's freezing here this morning. I've got chilblains in my fingers. I can barely move them because they're so sore. So hopefully I warm up quick enough. But it's cold, damp conditions at the moment. I forgot to put my thick woolly socks on this morning.
Would it not be better with a pair of gloves?
I find it quite difficult to do with the gloves. The gloves get wet in the morning, and then your hands get even colder, so personally I don't think so. It's painful on the hands. You do get a little bit stiff hands, and as you can see I got, can't really see, it's not that big, but a blister today from hooping the vines. During the day, you've got so much time to yourself, so thankfully you listen to your iPod or music, and you just get lost in your own thoughts. The worst thing that we've all agreed on is getting caught in a negative frame of mind. You start putting yourself in a guilt trip and thinking about all the horrible things you've done to family and friends in the past, and these are the thoughts that go through my head anyway.
It started off really hard. I was aching all over. I've still got swollen fingers.
Where I'm the complete opposite. I really enjoyed it at first and found it really hard, but now it's just getting mind-numbingly boring because it's the same thing over and over again, and the thoughts that go through your head when you're working is just ridiculous. You think about everything, like people at home, what you're doing, what you're missing, stuff like that. So
you think about your family quite a lot. It's quite hard.
Yeah, so for me it's getting harder as we go, whereas I found it easy. So
actually broken down a few times at work, because you think about so many different things and it's quite emotional.
So I lived through my pain in my hands, my shoulders are sore as well. But I'm not gonna give up. I'm not a quitter. And I do this for myself. This has been a
long journey. I've been here a month now, and it's been a roller coaster. Probably wanted to quit 50 times, where I just stopped in my rows, just stopped cutting. Some days it has been so painful, and I've been in tears. I've been standing there in tears. Luckily it's raining, so you won't see the tears, but no, it's been tough. And it's worse and worse every day. But I won't give up. I don't want to quit.
Down there is how much further left to go. It's fucking endless. But when you look at it in that frame of mind, it's a big fucking buzzkill, because you just drive yourself crazy thinking of how far you have to go. So instead you just have to do it vine at a time, one vine at a time, on one tree at a time, and you just slowly get there, bit by bit. Because when you just look down at how far to go, you just think, fucking kill me. Now, the weather is a big improvement, because when we started it was right in the middle of winter. It was just fucking horrible, really horrific. Since then, after the first week, the weather has just got gradually better and better. It's not that bad, could be worse. The visa is what matters, and once we get the visa we get to go wherever the fuck we want and do whatever the fuck we want. So for a few weeks of doing shit, in the long run it'll be a lot better, because we get a whole year to do whatever we want then. And the days, once it's signed off, we're free. We're free to go and do as we please. And then that will be worth it. The experience will be worth it. A few weeks of shit for fucking 52 weeks of good. 365 days of positivity. And which part of your body hurts most?
Right now?
Yeah.
This part of my thumb.
Oh, the inner part.
Yeah, right there. That's the bit that hurts the most right now. And my back.
Yeah.
My hands are swollen, I can barely close my hands. So I was asking Nick what's the reason for this, and he said, oh my god, you overworked your hands, so you shouldn't work. And I told him I need money, I need to stay here, and I need the days for my visa. And they said, yeah, then you have to work. So I've been pushing myself until today, when I realized, oh my god, I barely sleep at night because I have so much pain in my hands. So I asked Nick if I can do some hooping, tying the rubber bands, because that doesn't hurt as much as cutting, because it's a cutting movement that makes my hand sore, and the muscles in my arm which I'm not used to using. So yeah, and I asked him, can I do some hooping? And he said, no, I already gave that job to somebody else. So I said, oh, can I please do some hooping? Can we ask those girls? Like, no, if you can't do the job I'm giving you, then you don't have anything to do over here. That means I have to cut. So I took the day off, hopefully to rest my hands.
If it wasn't for the people, we'd all leave, and actually a few people have left. When they heard that after a week's work, one of the girls here came out with $10. That was obviously her accommodation taken off, but because of all her work, she worked from 7:30 till 4:30, 5 days, and came out with $10. So yeah, that's a bit of an example of how bad it can be for some people. But if you're in a couple, I think it works out better, because he'll give us a price for a plot, and basically it sounds like a good price, and we're like yeah, but it tells us that we have this done, we should have this done in 7 days, but no, it actually takes 14 to 16 days. So actually each day we think we're starting off with more money, and as each day goes on, we're coming out with less money. So that's basically how it works. We are getting paid though, which we're happy with. Our accommodation is 130 a week, which comes out of our pay packet, and that's 130 each, staying in a caravan that should only hold about 4 people. So you can imagine the amount of money that they're making. So we reckon the contractor's making some money from that too. Like, I'm staying with my boyfriend, so that's like 260 a week, sharing a cramped little room. So yeah, it's pretty crazy the amount of money that can be made from backpackers. We're kind of exploited in a way because we're here because we have to be here. So who do you think benefits, Liz, from us as regional workers?
Australia, the country in general, because for us to get another year's visa, we have to work for shit money for them. They earn money off of us, so they're making a profit on us during our regional work. For us to get another year to stay in their country, to get another job, to earn more money in their country that we're then going to spend in their country.
So all the money's going back into the economy.
It's just regenerating into their economy. It's smart.
Well, that's it.
But we're staying though. All of us here staying for like.
Yeah, we're obviously doing it for a reason.
It's tough going because you're like for instance, for myself, come from the city, earning good money for the job.
Just have to put up with
the contractors.
Yeah, exactly.
They're making massive money on
At the end of the day, they're a business, so
they're trying to earn money.
They, of course, are going to think about profits. There's a slight disadvantage to people doing their working holiday visas because there's now major incentives for islanders and everything to come over here where they're working on less wages, so they're making it incredibly difficult for people just on working holiday visas to actually get regional work. So I think it's very unfair to say to someone you have to do 3 months regional
so
work,
hard to get
88 days as such in your first year when it's you're competing with people that are working for buttons basically. So as in turn it makes you earn less.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because Australia, as good as it is, it's a very expensive country to live in.
Place to live.
Yeah, but the accommodation, we're getting paid very little, but our accommodation is half our wage. So I think the contractors and employers think that we're coming with money, so they know we have money to spend.
Yeah.
They come here penniless, and whatever money they make, that's all they have.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of trying to just come to regional work to make money, you're in the wrong place. That's what I initially came here to do. I came here to make money. That was the most ridiculous idea I've ever had.
We have to go straight into work after here to make the money up to go travelling again.
Yeah.
So it's not kind of like we're able to make a huge amount of money and then go travel and spend it. It's like,
or whatever rate they may give, and you end up earning half the minimum wage if you work it out.
Yeah.
So do the math, simple. Not enough money.
Oh, there's a lot of scams out there.
Yeah, so definitely don't agree to pass over any credit card details over the phone. We googled a hostel and someone put up a post
on the forums.
Do not actually go to this hostel. The reviews, because the guy promised them work, and when they got there, which is in the middle of nowhere, there was no work for them.
Yeah.
So then they were forced to pay
Yeah,
the
we
week's
got
rent.
warned about that at a hostel in Sydney. There was a few scams going up on the board saying this and this.
We have till Wednesday to get it all done, so we're kind of under a little bit of pressure to get it all finished. But other than that, it's alright. Just happy knowing this is my last walk in the vine.
Another 3 days left.
Woohoo!
Excited.
Oh yeah.
This is horrible.
The experience has changed me. I find myself a lot more. I actually didn't realise that I was as motivated as what I have been. And I've actually surprised myself, I think, getting up for work 6 days a week. I've never worked 6 days a week, always done 5 days a week. And I've surprised myself with the way I've worked.
It's really good. It is a good experience. I'd definitely recommend it to anyone that wants to come and work in Australia to get that extra year.
Second last day today. Should be good. Should be interesting.
It's like like it drives you even more. Like the first few like weeks, you think I can't do it, but then because you know that you can do it deep down, it kind of makes you work harder.
It gives you that motivation, I guess.
Yeah.
I think this experience will teach me that if I get a shitty job, I can think back on this job and say, hey, I did this. I was standing here cutting in the rain, freezing, soaking wet.
Today in work, when people do the hooping, they got these little rubber bands, and I got 2 of them to use as rings, and I'm gonna try keep them for as long as I can. So no matter what job I get in the future, however shit it is, I can just think back and know at least I'm not fucking doing grapevines. So, little reminder.
It's kind of weird actually living with so many people for so long, and now it's kind of like into the unknown, so we're not sure where we're going next. Some of us are, some of us aren't. We're all going to be ringing the hotline again just to see if there's some work coming up.
Another thing that changed me was the way I was looking at money and see how much hard work I have to do just to earn a small amount of money. So when I go to the shop next time buying something, I can think, is this worth it? Because I love shoes, and if I see a pair of shoes, I can pick them up and say, is this worth 5 days of cutting, pain in the freezing cold? And I think, no, it's not worth it. And put them down.
It's my last day, and it's like it was one of the worst mornings ever. It was so cold this morning. It was Baltic conditions, the Arctic, and my fingers, my plasters are falling off, my band-aid's falling off already. It was so wet, but I thought my pointer fingers were going to die this morning because it was so cold. Like, so painful because it's wet and freezing. But the sun's out now, so it's warming up a bit, so it's nicer. So yeah, I'm excited. Last day. This is I have 3 rows to hoop this morning. Hopefully be done by lunchtime. It's a good feeling, especially at the beginning how hard it was, and then now it's the end. And it's like, woo! Done it. But yeah, I'm excited.
Dance party, last day.
Oh shit! Oh, I just cut the one I just attached. Good job, this one had 5.
But if there was only...
And sometimes you just make mistakes. But it's alright, there's plenty more where that came from.
As you can see, it's an absolutely fucking beautiful last day, and it's just a very fucking positive way to end it. The weather could not be fucking better. It is beautiful. I got my wine. It's just such a very, very good fucking way to end all the misery and fucking horrible shit we went through. And I'm gonna miss fucking everyone here. I hate the fucking place, I hate the job, I hate the money, I hate the weather, I hate fucking everything about this. But I really am gonna miss everybody that I've met here in fucking Haywood. Oh.
They're going to close.
Thank you very much.
Next time, we're finished. I'm never working on a farm again in my life.
Fucking grapevines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done with my work over here, and I thought it was gonna be like really excited and like, but I'm not. I'm actually almost in tears because this experience has been so amazing. It's been like a roller coaster. It's been so hard, and I've been struggling, I've been crying, and I've been in pain. And now that I'm done, I just want to keep going. I started to like this place so much, and the people, and the experience has been just amazing. The most amazing experience actually I've ever experienced. We can say that.
We haven't made much money from here, but we haven't spent a huge amount. So I was happy enough to arrive here with the money that I arrived here. So the money I spent here is just to keep me going. So just to advise anybody planning to do regional work, make sure you have some money saved, because you're not going to make a huge amount.
When I was lying in bed, I can hear a mouse chewing and running around. I was like, oh, cute. And like all the stress where like everyone has to cook at night, and they're sitting there so tired, just want to go to bed, but you know you have to make dinner, and then you have to make lunch and breakfast for the next morning because you know you're gonna wake up and the kitchen will be booked again, and planning on when you're gonna have a shower, like a line standing there. Oh, who's gonna go to the shower? Can I go to the shower? No, I'm gonna go to the shower. I'm gonna miss it. Every single bit of it. Except the cutting. Except the hooping. Except the rain. I'm not gonna miss that.
Except the work.
Except the work. Yeah, except the work.
I, Conor Boyle, King of the Vine Pruners, hereby declare this sacred vine to be sacrificed to the higher gods of flame.
Come into the light, Conor, so you can Alright, goodbye everyone.
Bye.
Oh.
Take care.
Oh, I miss you.
It's been awesome.
It has. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. I sleep in the living room, so I'm constantly around people. So I turn into this big family. So creates bonds for life. I'm so happy that I came here and that I stayed. Now there's been 5 girls leaving us. And I was one of those people who stayed. So I'm proud of myself. For the first time in my life, I can actually say I'm proud of myself.
I called the National Harvest Line every single day for several weeks. My first visa was about to run out, so at this stage I was really desperate.
So yeah, I just got off the phone with the immigration center. I had to give them a call because I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. My problem is that I do have an apartment here in Melbourne that I have to pay rent for. I was asking them if there is any chance I can work here in Melbourne so I can keep my apartment, live here instead of going somewhere and pay rent somewhere else and work for a small amount of money. What I was making up in Haywood was not at all close to what I need to pay for the rent of this apartment.
I finally found a job. It was grate picking with no toilet facilities or running water. The rent was $130 a week. I left the next day. I got off the bus late and the contractor never showed up as promised. I had to ask what looked like criminals for directions. At first I thought it was a joke. By the look of it, the contractor had found an abandoned house in a high crime area. There was between 15 to 20 backpackers living there, sharing one toilet and one kitchen. The rundown house had no locks on the door and broken windows. I was introduced to a smelly room with garbage all over the floor. The bunk bed had stains, a mattress full of holes, no cover sheets or pillows as I was promised on the phone. And to top it all off, there was a used tampon in the middle of the floor. Every single day we had to get up for work, but there wasn't enough work for everybody. So some days we didn't go to the farm. We basically sat in the filthy house waiting desperately while paying rent. I was paying rent in Melbourne as well, so there was a matter of time before my small savings ran out. The job they gave us was to fill a box of grapes, working in the sunshine and 40 degrees. The only water I could drink was the water I brought from the house in the morning, which obviously had turned boiling hot after a few hours. We got $4 per box of grapes, because we had to pick out all the rotten and bird-eaten grapes. One box took me more than an hour to fill. I got a big breakdown and the farmer saw me crying. I was so desperate at this stage, and he opened his heart and agreed to sign my papers. I left the next morning.
He's happy to be leaving.
Bye. Can you not see the tears?